Hey crypto friends, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. Today we are going to be taking a look at the total 3 altcoin charts and we are going to see where it might be headed, and we will cover both bullish and bearish scenarios just to simply cover all of the possibilities. Now, for those of you who love trading crypto and would like to try out the same crypto exchanges that I use on a regular basis, feel free to go ahead and either try out the MEXC exchange or the Blowfin exchange with the links in the video description down below this video. Now, the reasons why I love both of these exchanges: for one, I love MEXC because they have some of the cheapest trading fees in the entire industry, and the reason why I love Blowfin is because they allow anybody from anywhere to be able to sign up and trade crypto futures. So if you're from the United States and you want to trade crypto futures, you can do it right here on Blowfin. And this is actually where I personally trade my crypto futures right now as well. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at the overall total 3 macro chart. All right, now for those of you who are unaware, the total 3 chart is the main chart for the market cap of the entire altcoin market except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so this is the market cap of every single altcoin out there except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, okay, I don't know why I just said the same thing twice in a row. That was dumb. Anyway, so as we can see here, guys, we've got a high here during this cycle right now. We've got a high here at around $789 billion. All right, and we ended up going down and then up to go back to and retest it, but we failed that retest. Ended up coming back down and ended up trying to go back up again. Momentum failed again, and we ended up dropping big time from there all the way down to the $560 billion area. All right, and then from there we ended up starting to go up and down and up and down and up and down, and we kind of created this, as you guys can clearly see, we created this rising wedge pattern right here. And for those of you who are unaware of what rising wedges are, rising wedges typically always result in a downside move at some point in time in that rising wedge, which, as you guys can clearly see, is exactly what happened. We ended up having a higher high here and another higher high here, but as you guys can see, as we tried to break this higher high at this point in time, it failed right at this level here at 720 billion, and because it failed, we kind of created a midterm double top up there, and from that is pretty much what triggered the big sell-off to the downside to break this rising wedge right here. All right, so what's next for it? Well, in a bullish scenario, what we can expect here, or what we want to see happening here in a bullish scenario, is obviously we want to see us going back upwards. I mean, clearly. But the only way that's going to happen is we need to start clearing some midterm resistance levels here first, okay? This first midterm resistance level here that we've got going on right now is right around this level here at right around $620 billion. And then we've got another big one here, or another midterm one up here at around 640 billion. And then we have got another small one right in this area at around like the $650 billion range, somewhere around there. And then we've got another one somewhere right around in this layer right in here, around the $680 billion area. And then we have finally got the $720 billion area. Now this section right here, the $720 billion area, is kind of the big area that we can start to feel comfortable with. Once we start to reach the $720 billion area, we can start to feel comfortable that altcoins have pretty damn good momentum going on right now. And when it's got damn good momentum going on at that point in time, we can fully expect that we probably have some decent enough momentum to finally cross this high here of $789 billion range right up there. All right, now there is a possibility for more downside. Obviously, what's going on in the crypto market right now is there just seems to be no new money coming into altcoins, and I think me personally, a lot of that, what I think is personally happening here is we have got so many damn altcoins that are launching on a daily basis, and the majority of them are meme coins and hype coins and people getting into them just because, you know, there's a lot of hype behind them and they're chasing profits. All right, so these are the gamblers in the crypto market. Okay, and what I think is personally happening is because we have so many of these new coins launching on a regular basis, all of this capital, all of the capital is completely running to these different hyped up projects. And what's happening there is once they run into them and then, they end up finding out that they're not making money and they're actually losing money, what they're doing is they're selling for losses, and that's just continuing the downward spiral all the way down. Now, in addition to that, because we also have so many projects coming out, it means that there's more capital being dispersed through all kinds of different projects rather than, the main top tier big projects or the large cap projects that the capital should be going into instead. So realistically, we have got a big hype game going on right now, and it's realistically not a good thing to see. Now, if this thing does continue to keep on dropping, we do have major support down here at the $560 billion range, which we almost ended up hitting it right down here a couple days ago on June 18th, but not quite. So we can still count this as good, solid support down here at 560 billion. Now, if that one fails, if that one ends up failing, we do have support down here also at 534, right around the $535 billion area as well. And that is kind of a high that we created here back in the beginning of January here in 2024. Now, it is a possibility that if we do continue to keep dropping, we could end up going lower than that if these two levels don't hold. Now, I personally don't foresee that happening realistically, just because of the amount of just simply because of the amount of capital that is currently in the crypto market. But the thing we do have to be keeping in mind here is the crypto market is not as big as the traditional finance markets, okay? In fact, it is just a fraction of the traditional finance markets, and we do have to keep that in mind as well. So there is still a lot of volatility going on here, and with, thinking about that aspect alone, there is a good, strong possibility, since we do have a bunch of people coming into this market that are from the traditional finance market, they could be coming and going as they please on a regular basis, meaning depositing their funds and then withdrawing their funds after they make a certain amount of capital. And, there could be a lot of that going on as well. But realistically, as far as price action is concerned here, what we really want to see going on here is we want to start seeing a bunch of momentum coming into the market so that we can start breaking these smaller midterm resistance levels right in these areas and kind of create higher and higher lows in a step-by-step fashion all the way up, and then finally get to this level of $720 billion up here and finally breach past it. And then at that point, we can start to get excited and start to feel comfortable that there could be decent momentum in the market or in the altcoin market for altcoins to go up and breach this $789 billion area. Now, the other thing that we do have to be paying attention to as well is Bitcoin dominance also, okay? Obviously, for those of you who aren't aware, usually 9 times out of 10, for instance, I'm sure you guys have heard of the altcoin season. Altcoin season typically usually only happens, or actually altcoin season does only happen when Bitcoin dominance is dropping, okay? When Bitcoin dominance starts to drop out of its major uptrend that it's in, which as you guys can clearly see, it is in a giant uptrend here on the macro view, on the weekly chart here. And once this thing starts to drop, and I'm talking dropping like as far as like, downwards, then we can start to feel comfortable that, an altcoin season and this total 3 chart has enough momentum to start rising up big time again, all right? Let me just show you a example here of what I'm talking about. So this is currently the weekly chart right now of the current uptrend that Bitcoin, or that Bitcoin dominance has been in, all right? Now, if we go back and look at the previous bull market, we can clearly see this was Bitcoin dominance right here, December 28th of 2020. This was pretty much the peak of that Bitcoin dominance back in the previous bull market. And as you guys can clearly see, once it peaked, and then it just started dumping and dumping and dumping. And during this time, during this big drop right here, is when altcoins started to freak out and started rising like crazy. I'm sure you guys that were around back then remember the big altcoin season we had last time. That's exactly what happened at this point in time. So again, I cannot stress this enough. Altcoin season and the total 3 chart, we will not expect a big giant move to the upside again until Bitcoin dominance starts to drop. All right, so that is just something to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and take a look at the total 3 chart, which is again the overall altcoin market cap chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the indicators and see what the indicators are telling us. Now that we got support and resistance levels aside, let's see what the indicators are saying. So as far as the indicators are going, as you guys can clearly see, we are literally riding the 200 EMA support right down here, which is very nice to see because we really haven't broken that. We almost went, when we went down on this big candle right here a couple days ago, we almost ended up losing it. But as you guys can clearly see, price ended up coming back and we ended up riding that very strong level of that EMA right there, which tells us that we've got very strong support in this exact level right here, which makes sense because we hit this same level back in here too for like a week straight before going up again. So that is good to see that we've got very strong support in this specific level where we're at right now, right around the $600 billion range. Okay, so now what we want to see happening from this level is we want to start seeing it bounce off and go upwards. Realistically, in the long-term grand scheme of things, we want to see price action, or we want to see these candles be above all of the moving averages like we see right over here, okay? So with the EMAs turned off, let's go ahead and take a look at the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands pretty much telling us the same thing. We're in a downtrend right now. Moving average within either the end of today or the end of tomorrow should be around this $640 billion mark. It would be nice to see altcoins have a little bit of a relief and start to head upwards and head towards this level, but anything can happen. I mean, technically we are oversold right now, as you guys can clearly see in the Bollinger Bands. We are currently riding the bottom band down here, okay? Again, it is a possibility we could end up dumping to this level of support down here at 560,000 or 560 billion. And if that does end up happening, then we should end up having a bounce back to the upside. Now, with Bollinger Bands turned off, let's go ahead and look at the RSI real quick. RSI is telling us that we are extremely oversold, like I was just showing you on the Bollinger Bands as well. So that right there is further confirmation that we should be expecting a bounce back up to the upside at some point in time here. When that's going to happen, I have no idea, you guys. I'm not a magician. I can't see the future, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I am just providing some chart analysis here based on my own personal opinion, and that is pretty much all. So overall here, though, guys, that's going to pretty much do it for this. Now, I will go ahead and cover the overall altcoin market cap chart on a regular basis from now on as well, including my individual coin price updates as well. So keep that in mind also. But overall here, you guys, before I go ahead and wrap up this video, if you enjoyed this video and it helped you out a little bit, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Hit the like button below the video to help me out, and leave me a comment below on your personal thoughts on where you think the price of altcoins is going to go here in the short to mid-term. And hey, for those of you who stuck around and watched this video throughout the whole thing, thank you guys very much. I appreciate you guys very much. You helped me out very, very much here. And I hope to see all of you in my future videos.